Today, I'm going to show you how I took this to this and then made it into this and finally ended up with it looking just like this. I'm Marissa. You may know me from my days accidentally canceling sectionals and recliners on TikTok, or you may be an OG from right here on YouTube. But either way, I'm here to offer no-nonsense interior design, home decor, and DIY advice. Here on YouTube, we're able to get a little bit more into the details, so let's get into everything, barely keeping it together. We were lucky enough to be gifted this real teak furniture outdoor dining set from a family friend that was somewhere between 20 and 30 years old. But as you can see, it had had many seasons where it had not been oiled and it had not been loved, so it definitely needed a refresh on our end before we wanted to use it and have it look beautiful in our space. Teak is a hardwood that can be restored year after year after year doing this process that I'm going to show you here today that I learned through a couple different YouTube videos. So I started off with a hard brush and was just starting to wipe away the grime before using any water or any products. Also, if you're curious the exact products that I use throughout the process, I will have everything linked down below. But here is the set that actually the previous owners gave to us of the cleaner and brightener that I was going to use for the first two steps of bringing the teak back to life. But the first thing I needed to do before I used either of those was give the table a bath. You want everything to be soaking wet before you do anything. And I learned this all through some other YouTube tutorials as well as Googling it and just kind of figuring out and putting together, various sources of information of how best to redo this teak table. So you can see what I did was I took the first step, the cleaner, and I put it in a spray bottle, and then I just started spraying down the table and using the same brush. I was shocked. Here you can see how surprised I was with what was coming off the table. I don't know if I call it grease and grime or just the years of outdoor exposure that was coming off, but as I'm showing you here, you spray it down and it just starts to almost clump off. You just see everything just easily pull off from the table, which was sort of blowing my mind, and it was also extremely satisfying from a cleaning standpoint. This is also a really good angle to show you that you can see the left-hand side, how much cleaner it looks already than the right-hand side, which had yet to be touched. And here you can see from my perspective as I was cleaning it, how much I was getting off on one side versus the other, and the next step was going to be to hose it down. Now you can see my extreme satisfaction from hosing off that grease that I had scrubbed off and how different it was starting to actually look. Once I had scrubbed the entire table, this is where we stood after I gave it a bath of more hose water. Then it was time to spray the second part of the cleaning solution, which is the brightener. This is how bright it started to look immediately when I sprayed down one side with the brightener to lighten up the wood. And here it is after I had sprayed the whole table, and you can see the chairs around it hadn't been touched yet. Here's what the table was looking like when I sprayed off the brightener, which I'm assuming it's almost like a bleach type situation. I really don't know what it's made of. So I sprayed down the table. You want to make sure you get it really clean, and then you are going to let it just completely dry in the air. You do not want there to be any water left on it. From my research, you want it to be bone dry before you go to the next step, which is going to be actually oiling the furniture. I do want to mention that I left the brightener on for 10 minutes as for what I researched, that was the best way to do it. And that was everything I did for the day. So this is how I left the furniture that day. I had done actually 3 chairs and the table before walking away. Okay, so day 1 I got tabletop and 3 chairs done. I'm gonna come back, do the 3 other chairs and the bottom of the table another day. After letting the table dry fully overnight, this is what it was looking like the next day when I came outside. That was just a quick brand of the Teak Oil that I purchased at the local store and just started painting it on like you're painting anything, and it just kind of absorbs the moisture. Okay, here you can see oiled, not touched, and then done but not oiled. Not touched, ready to be oiled. Oiled. Not fully oiled because I'm running out of time, but oiled. gorgeous. And here is the final reveal after everything was completed. Everything has been oiled and sitting out for a little while on the deck. We've been using it the last couple weeks. Really happy with how it came out. It definitely gave new life to our existing teak furniture set that was gifted to us, which these sets retail for about $3,500. So it was definitely well worth the, I think, $15 I paid for the oil. What do you think? Leave any comments or questions below and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.